And here it is.
Stunning, exciting, inspiring, a film you must not miss. The Eagle has landed.
Roll up, ladies and gentlemen. One man went to more gather, come and join. That session that we do in the afternoon somewhat, we are doing it exactly right now. So if you are available, then just come participate. You know the routine. As you are coming in, please click on the and on the thumbs up button, on the like button, and also click on the subscribe button. So click on those two buttons and kick back, sit back, take it easy. If you want to come participate directly on the screen, click on the hyperlink that says StreamYard as well. So if you clicked on that hyperlink, then that brings you onto the studio. And as soon as I've read out the talking points, I'll let you onto the screen and we'll engage in a conversation around the talking points. So that is how it works. It's an open microphone session, and the open microphone is the hyperlink that says StreamYard. So kick back, lean back, take it easy. One man went to mow.
Exciting, inspiring, a film you must not miss. The Eagle has landed.
Only water, where they see ma. Water,
only water, where they see ma.
Hapa o naido. Hapa o naido. Hapa you don't come o. Hapa o naido. Oro kẹ̀kẹ́ ẹlẹ́mù yé o. Ilé ṣọ́dí kẹ̀kẹ́ ẹlẹ́mù ré o. Bọ́bí pásítà kẹ̀kẹ́ ẹlẹ́mù ré o. Chifu Fáìlàtì kẹ̀kẹ́ ẹlẹ́mù ré o. Eruku lẹ̀lẹ̀ ẹlẹ́mù dé. Eruku lẹ̀lẹ̀ ẹgbẹ́ ẹlẹ́mù dòdò jàre o. Eruku lẹ̀lẹ̀ Ghana ti dé ẹgbẹ́ bọ́ọ̀dì o. Ọmọ ẹlẹ́yẹ ẹ̀yẹ o ó dilé o. Odúyẹ̀lá ẹ̀yẹ o ó dilé o. Petrosoname ẹ̀yẹ o ó dilé o. Petrosodúnkẹ́ ẹ̀yẹ rẹ̀ ó dilé o. Ẹlẹ́kọ̀ ọ̀run mú ìní o. Àkùkọ ọ̀run mẹ́kọ̀. Ikú kò ní ríwà gbéṣe o.
And there you heard it. Powerful prayers by the care guides. Àkùkọ ọ̀run mẹ́kọ̀ ìgbàlà tiele. Hey, hey, hey. Ikú kò ní rí wa gbéṣe. My thing seems to be conflicting against something. It's going to turn into an annoyance if I don't. Oh God, I hope it's not going to be one of those sessions. Ikú kò ní rí wa gbéṣe ìgbàlà tiele. Hey, hey, hey. The potency of that prayer, it never fails to resonate every time we hear it. So Ikú kò ní rí wa gbéṣe, as guys, I bring you this. Buhari IGP Usman Baba under fire over new hijab dress, $1 million donation to the Talibans. So there it is right there, Islamization to the very end. And once they've institutionalized these things in the Nigerian constitution, very difficult to reverse them because they have the numbers in the assembly. So once they have instituted their Islamization agenda in the Nigerian templates, the constitution, it is fait accompli. Buhari, IGP Usman Baba, under fire over new hijab dress, $1 million donation to the to Afghanistan otherwise known as the Talibans. So there it is right there. 2023, APC zones presidency to Southwest, vice presidency to Northeast. So this is the first breaking of this story. You remember that a committee was set up to zone to the six committees rather were set up to the six geopolitical zones within Nigeria are the offices within the APC structure. And it looks as though now what is emerging, APC zones presidency to Southwest, vice presidency to Northeast. So how that permutates, we'll find out just shortly. We'll find this out shortly as well. Muslim groups knock senior lawyer Adegboruwa for criticizing hijab use by Nigerian police women. So they double down then on that space. This is what we usually see. They institutionalize a religious bent in the Nigerian constitution, and then they hammer it down with the weight of the noise of their satellite groups. So those satellite groups now come to defend the indefensible. Muslim group knocks senior lawyer Adegboruwa for criticizing hijab use for Nigerian police women. So I'm only aware that hijabs are used by police women in Islamic republics. But then, of course, what is Nigeria other than an Islamic republic? So this now the last narrative from this short afternoon session. We were treated worse than Nigerians at the border. Indians fleeing Ukraine cry out. So Nigeria now the lowest denominator that humanity uses to assess itself. So that now seems to be the metaphor that is being used globally to just alarm at something that not even a Nigerian will be treated like this. So the lowest of the low is not even black anymore. Nigeria is now sub-black, according to the global community. We were treated worse than Nigerians at the border. Indians fleeing Ukraine cry out. So quite what that means we'll find out just shortly. So plenty to go through, but please click on that like button because we're seeing the impact on that. The viewership is going on quite impressively upward, and that is as a result of people clicking on the like button. So if that is all that is required from you, I don't really see what the hesitancy is or what persuasion you need to do that. Just a flick of a lousy button, that is all that is required of you. Just click on the like button, click on the subscribe, and as you go about that gentle motion of clicking, let me provide a little musical intermission. Put on your dancing shoes as we head to the east to partake in another Python dance.
Python dance 1, Python dance 2, now Python dance 3. Unapoli Maryland, Nandi win the war. Python dance 1, Python dance 2, now Python dance 3. Unapoli Maryland, Nandi go onyedu my mom. O Mary Wonelizu Biroya. Abakare, Mamanda Ora, Unapuri Mary Nandi, Nandi win the war. Python dance 1, Python dance 2, now Python dance 3. Unapuri Mary Nandi, Nandi win the war. Python dance 1, Python dance 2, now Python dance 3. Unapuri Mary Nandi, Nandi win the war. Python dance 1, Python dance 2, Python dance 3. Unapoli Mary Nandi, Nandi win the war. Python dance 1, Python dance 2, Python dance 3. Unapoli Mary Nandi, Nandi win the war. Python dance 1, Python dance 2, Python dance 3. Unapoli Mary Nandi.
And there you heard it. Nnamdi wins the war, they insist. The yellow Gary munchers from the eastern part of Nigeria. Nnamdi Kanu wins the war. As guys, I bring you this. Buhari, IGP Usman Baba, under fire over new hijab dress, $1 million donation to the Talibans. Human Rights Writers Association of Nigeria, HURIWA, has reminded the Inspector General of Police, IGP Usman Alkali Baba, that hijab does not protect female officers from AK-47 bullets. HURIWA, in a statement on Sunday, also faulted the decision of President Mohamed Buhari to gift $1 million to Afghanistan through the Organization of Islamic Countries, OIC. The civil rights advocacy group lambasted Usman Baba over the introduction of Islamic dress code for female police officers in the country. Similarly, the group said it was unconstitutional for President Buhari to donate $1 million of public funds without appropriation to the OIC for onward disbursement to the Islamic regime that came to power via the barrel of a gun in Afghanistan. The rights group said Section 10 of the Nigerian Constitution makes Nigeria a secular state, wondering when President Buhari will similarly play his illegal Father Christmas role by donating to the World Council of Churches or adherents of African traditionalists. HURIWA said the attempt by Buhari and Usman Baba to project Nigeria to the world as an Islamic nation will backfire because millions of Nigeria who have no religious affiliation and other organized religious groups of Christian and ATR will never accept this sinister plot, which will lead to avoidable disaster. Just as the rights group also asked the duo to retrace their steps before it is too late. President Buhari and all the pro-Islamic fanatics, including those who hitherto professed loyalty to Al-Qaeda and Taliban Islamists, but are still in Buhari's regime, should consider the consequences of their actions, because the rest of the population that do not share same faith won't let themselves be enslaved and conscripted to be citizens of an Islamic state when the Nigerian constitution rules out the practicality and legality of elevating any religion as state religion in Nigeria. HURIWA said in a statement signed by Comrade Emmanuel, its national coordinator. These government officials had better have a change of heart. Respect the constitution for the sake of national security and stability, because Nigerians are watching and will take appropriate steps to preserve their religious freedoms. He added, HURIWA said the new dress code for female officers in the police, which include the use of hijab and studded earrings, would not in any way increase the efficiency of police officers nor protect them from flying AK-47 bullets fired by daring criminals and bandits in the country of late. Recall that the IGP on March the 4th, 2022, unveiled the new dress code for female police officers, saying it is in line with international best practice. However, HURIWA's Onwa Biko declared that the new dress code is illegal, unconstitutional, and sectarian, noting that it is an apparent move to fulfill the Islamization agenda of President Buhari. Onwobiko said, despite the many challenges, including declining staff numbers, low morale, poor training, and poor welfare confronting the Nigerian police force under IGP Usman Baba, it is unfortunate that he chose to prioritize religious adornment over weightier matters. HURIWA wonders how the new dress code is of any usefulness to the shrinking 300,000 police officers in the country whose salaries are barely paid by the government and whose dilapidated barracks are unfit for pigs, let alone human beings. Logically speaking, to what intent and purpose is the use of hijab for police female officers chasing criminals on the streets of Lagos or combating bandits in Abuja Kaduna Expressway? Would the hijab deflect AK-47 bullets fired by bandits from hitting the officers? The IGP should get serious. The Nigerian police has been in existence since 1945, and wearing of hijab for female officers is illegal and unconstitutional, as the religion of public officers, including members of the security agencies, should be a private matter for them. Section 10 of the 1999 Constitution stipulates that government and all its agencies should be neutral in religious matters, whilst Section 42 of the same Constitution forbids discrimination in all its ramifications. The IGP, being a Muslim from Borno State, where Boko Haram operates freely, should not use the post he currently occupies to enthrone Islam on the plurality of members of the force comprising Muslim, Christians, Catholic, traditionalists, etc. The IGP should respect his oath of office and desist from fanaticism and the hijab controversy. The IGP should respect his oath of office and desist from fanaticism and the hijab controversy that has sharply divided and inflamed states such as Osun, Kwara, amongst others. He should desist from such fanaticism as demonstrated by the government-backed Hizbah police in northern Nigeria. If the Muslim female officer are allowed to wear hijab, how should policemen and women who are in the celestial church dress when the practice of their church is against wearing shoes at all? And how should traditionalists who are in the police force dress with charms and armlets around their uniform? It is curious that the IGP, who has woefully failed to instill discipline and professionalism amongst his operatives and foot dragged in the case of alleged notorious fraud accomplice and cop Abakari, is the same person introducing dress code for female police officers. Had things functioned well in Nigeria, the IGP should have been prosecuted for crimes against humanity committed by his operatives in Imo State, as documented by Amnesty International. But President Buhari is too bigoted, and but President Buhari, who too is a bigot and who donated $1 million of Nigeria's money to Afghanistan, left the bigoted IGP in office, and now his most important job is to introduce hijab even when his operatives behave like robbers, like unknown gunmen in the southeast and many places. This IGP is a failure and deserves to be sacked, so he can very well go back to the northeast to become his local imam in his local mosque. Usman Baba should focus on combating crime, improve citizen engagement, and help guarantee safety of lives and property. The religious preferences of police officers and police women should be their private matter. So that is the response then to that space. We touched briefly on that story yesterday when our Rational Mind introduced it to the platform. The introduction now, the Islamization of the Nigerian police force coming to a local government area near you. So back to politics. APC zones presidency to southwest, vice presidency to northeast. The All Progressive Congress APC has reportedly zoned the presidential slot to the southwest, as recent events indicate that there are the All Progressive Congress APC has reportedly zoned the presidential slot to the southwest, as recent events indicate that they have agreed on a zoning arrangement for the 6 positions in party and government at national level. The southwest is favored to produce the next presidential standard bearer of the party. The northeast is said to have been listed for the running mate ticket. The Senate presidency is billed to return to the southeast, whilst the northwest is scheduled for the speakership slot. According to correspondents, the arrangement mirrors what the People's Democratic Party (PDP) as the ruling party in 1999 presented as a governance outlook, with Olusegun Obasanjo from the southwest as president. His deputy then, Atiku Abubakar, is from Adamawa State in the northeast. Now late Evan Ewere, the first Senate president, was from the southeast. The disgraced first speaker, Salisu Buhari, is from Kano, the northwest. Though Ewere and Buhari were voted out of office for forgery, the slots remained in the 2 zones for the 8 years Obasanjo and the Southwest kept the presidency. The governing party also seems to have kept faith with the PDP's old blueprint in zoning its national chairmanship position to the North Central. National leader of the party, President Muhammad Buhari, has also mentioned his preference for former Nasarawa State Governor and serving Senator Adamu Abdullahi for the party's top job. During 8 years of Obasanjo, PDP produced 4 national chairmen from the North Central in Solomon Law, Barnabas Gimadi, Audu something or the other, and Colonel Amudu Ali retired. The position of National Secretary of the APC has also been moved to the South-South. Following President Buhari's endorsement of Adamu, leaders of the party in other zones reportedly engaged in a hide-and-seek over the national scribe slot. Party bigwigs seeking higher government positions were said to have worked tirelessly behind the scene to ensure their geopolitical zones didn't get the top party office in order not to have their ambition derailed. Efforts to earlier zone the office to the southwest reportedly met with stiff resistance following rumors that its acceptance would affect the consideration of the zone for presidency. Southeast also tipped for the office at a point, eventually lost to its strong resistance from individuals from the zone seeking higher party and government positions. Southeast eventually landed the deputy national chairman, South slot, for which President Buhari is reportedly backing former Senate President Ken Nnamani. Northwest major stakeholders also allegedly worked against having the national scribe position zoned to them, considering the earlier rumor some individuals from the zone were eyeing the presidency after 8 years of President Buhari from the zone. The number 4 position in government was eventually yielded to the president's zone. So there you are, the zoning formula in the APC. Muslim groups knock senior lawyer Adegboruwa for criticizing hijab use for Nigerian policewomen. The Muslim rights concern, Murik, has lambasted legal practitioner Ebun Olu Adegboruwa over a comment attributed to the legal luminary, declaring the new code of dress for female officers as illegal. The Nigerian police force has announced that the Inspector General of Police, Usman Baba, recently approved a new dress code for policewomen in Nigeria. This announcement was made in a statement on Friday by the acting Force Public Relations Officer, Adejobi. The police PRO announced that the new and improved dress code would now allow female officers to wear stud earrings. Adejobi said the female police officers would also be permitted to wear headscarf, hijab, under their beret or peak caps whilst in uniform. Reacting in a statement on Saturday, Adegboruwa said the new dress code was illegal and should be reversed immediately, as he advised the police to focus on its primary responsibility of combating crime. Adegboruwa argued that the religious preferences of police officers should be a private matter, as he alleged that the current IGP was using the platform to enforce his religion on the force. But on Sunday, Murik, in a statement by one Jubrin, I'm not going to attempt his last name, the chairman Akwa Ibom chapter of the group, urged the police to ignore Adegboruwa's statement. The group stated that despite the legal practitioner's human rights struggles, he has never shown support for the civil rights struggles of Nigerian Muslims, alleging that Adegboruwa is a Muslim hater. It further asked Adegboruwa should be stripped of his SAN title, stating that he had shown opposition to justice for Muslims. Murik said, "How can a whole SAN oppose a matter of fundamental human rights? It is paradoxical that those who know the law are the ones who adopt prejudice against civil rights matters." Adegboruwa's vituperation sprung from personal acrobatic religiosity. His articles and comments on hijab crisis in Kwara and other places sympathize bias, intolerance, and pathological hatred for Muslims. Is this the same senior lawyer who has been articulate on human rights in Nigeria all these years? We are appalled that he has elected selective justice. It means Adegboruwa's definition of human rights is exclusive. Muslims must not enjoy human rights. Muslims have no place in his concept of human rights, freedom, and justice. Adegboruwa has exposed himself as a Muslim hater, nolly secundus. Adegboruwa should be stripped of his SAN title. A senior lawyer who ignored the tyranny of school principals and teachers who have been persecuting innocent schoolgirls over an ordinary headscarf for decades, but jump up within 24 hours to oppose a window of liberty for them, does not deserve the highest decoration in his profession. The SAN is asking how Catholics and Anglican women officers should dress now that their Muslim colleagues have been allowed to use the hijab. He should tell us how Catholic and Anglican policewomen dress in Britain, America, Canada, etc. By the way, is Adegboruwa telling us that he has never seen pictures of Mary, mother of Jesus, peace be upon him? I don't know what that means. Has he ever seen Mary without a hijab on her head? Bigotry is indeed an almost incurable disease. Adegboruwa should ask Catholic and Anglican policewomen to demand their own form of dress code if such a thing exists in real life. He will be surprised to see that the Nigerian Muslims will not oppose their demands. Islam condemns pettiness and selfishness. It teaches Muslims to live and let others live. Anyway, Adegboruwa should advise Catholic and Anglican policewomen to dress like Mary, the most honored mother of Jesus, peace be upon his name. Adegboruwa should know that the current uniform of the police satisfies the Nigerian Christians because it is designed ab initio by the British colonialists who essentially were Christians. That is why Nigerian Christians have never complained about the uniform in schools and in security agencies. Muslim interest was not taken into consideration by the colonialists when they were designing uniform for schools and security agencies. Justice and the need for inclusiveness demand that the design should be reviewed in post-independence period. That is why even the recent approval must be seen as belated. Quarterly, finally, quarter finally, I don't know what that means. Quarter finally, has Adegboruwa forgotten the outcome of the hocus pocus created in Osun State when the court approved hijab and the Christian Association of Nigeria incited Christian students to wear ridiculous garbs like church choir, Shango and Oya and masquerade dresses to school? How long did it last? He should go to the state today to see how the female Muslim students shine with their hijab. No matter how fast falsehood runs and for how long, truth will catch up with it one single day. Finally, we advise Adegboruwa to go to court if he feels so strongly that Muslim female policewomen have no right to use the hijab. He may also want to go further by approaching the International Court at The Hague to stop British, American, and Canadian policewomen and their soldiers from using same. Islamophobia is the legal profession. Uh, Islamophobia in the legal profession is not new to us. So there it is right there. That's the rebuttal to Adegboruwa outcry against the Islamification of the Nigerian police and security architecture. So this now the last story. We were treated worse than. Let me take a gulp of water. So this now the last story. We were treated worse than Nigerians at the border. Indians fleeing Ukraine cry out. Some Indian students who have recently fled Ukraine said border guards in the troubled country treated Nigerians better than them. There have been reports along with videos of Nigerians and other nationals being turned back at Ukraine's borders in their attempt to exit the troubled country for neighboring ones. Nevertheless, students returning home to India's state of Odisha claimed they were treated worse. According to a report by Niger Bread, some Indian students recall having to walk miles in sub-zero temperature, waving the Indian flag and being heckled by Ukrainian soldiers before crossing the border to safety. One of the students said they lived in a bunker from February the 24th and exited it only 3 days later. Another said the Ukrainian soldiers were cordial to Nigerians and others, but were harsh on Indians. I was heckled by them before crossing the international border to Romania. We walked 12 kilometers in -6 degrees Celsius, which was really painful. Many Indian students were trapped in the country. No fewer than 775 Nigerians fleeing the intense bombing and missiles fired by Russian military forces had been flown back to the country since evacuation efforts started on Friday. So the lowest denominator they will have it is the Nigerian. So let's see who we have, if we have anybody at all. Okay, so we have, oh goodness me. We have Charles and then we have Tony. So let's go to Charlie Boy first. So Charles, to you,
Yes.
what are you making then of the Indians' lamentation that they were treated worse than Nigerians? And is Nigeria now the worst denominator in terms of our global standards? So to that, Charlie Boy.
Yes. I think most black people were really poorly because first they let them go too until the African Union had to speak out for them to get to. That's the reason why they went to into Poland. It's sad, but that's the truth. It's sad that the African Union had to speak out to let the people go to. The African Union didn't speak out, woman. The black people wouldn't go to into Poland. Do you know that? You heard about that woman?
Well, yes, they had to push, and I agree with you. It is sad when somebody is fleeing from bombs and missiles, and you are holding them at the border for immigration reasons. what are you telling them then to go back to be slaughtered by Putin? But then that is the faith of the black man, always treated like almost like a subhuman in most instances.
I can't.
But
India. I'm surprised. India shouldn't be treated in America. India is not treated that bad. I'm surprised they treated by the Ukraine. Why is that?
People don't especially rate the Indians internationally. They rate them in terms of IT, that they should come and sit in the basement with the servers and drink coffee. But people don't rate Indians especially. I'm not aware that Indians are rated
But but
any yeah.
but this is a lesson to black people in Africa. It's a lesson. This is a lesson to Nigerians, all people, that in the crisis, this is a lesson to Africa that you must get your act together in the crisis. Wasn't this big earthquake in Nigeria? What the Nigeria gonna do? They can fix. Wasn't the big disaster in Nigeria? What's they gonna do? They can do nothing. That's sad.
Oh, all right. So, Charles, let me take you then to the space. Buhari Usman Baba under fire over new hijab dress and $1 million donation to Afghanistan. So, the Nigerian Inspector General of Police has passed now the policy that female police officers can wear Islamic clothing. So there's a concern now that they are trying to turn Nigeria into an Islamic state, and this another step in that direction. And then another further step in that direction, the Nigerian state has donated $1 million, or should I say the Buhari administration, the Buhari regime, should I say, they've donated uh, $1 million to the Talibans governing Afghanistan. The Taliban, which is an extreme version of Islam, and who also took that country via the force of a barrel of a gun. So, what are you then making of these Islamification concerns that people have?
You see, Buhari should be careful because you shouldn't be done. Buhari could get sanctioned. America could sanction Nigeria for that. America could, USA could sanction Nigeria. You can't donate money to terrorists. You get a country in trouble. Nigeria should learn a lesson in Russia that they should be careful what they're doing. They can't just give money to terrorists when you know you can be sanctioned by the international court for doing that.
Oh, all right. So finally, Charles,
And
go
also
on. Go on.
they shouldn't change the uniform just because of this. Should be the uniform should be like a normal uniform. It shouldn't be like a religion uniform. It should be just a normal uniform opposite. Why should they change it for what?
What they're trying to create is a religious conflict within the the country, because very soon, once they've introduced this, then the core Islamic states within Nigeria, they will now start to insist that the female officers within their space, they have to wear hijab. And then if you're not wearing hijab as a female officer in this fundamentalist states like Kano, etc., then you become a target. You know,
But
Even Christians in those states, when they are going about their business, they have to wear a scarf over their head, not because they want to, but because they don't want to be targeted.
yeah,
So
but
now they've
you see,
institutionalized now this Islamic
the issue is
guilt on
making.
the Nigerian.
You see, this showed me that these people want Nigeria to not be a Christian country. They don't want Nigeria to be a Christian country. They want Nigeria to be a Muslim country by force.
Well, Nigeria is not a Christian country, though. Nigeria is a secular country. So
Yeah,
a secular country means that it has no national religion that the indigents can practice as their faith leads them. But they are now institutionalizing it. They signed the Nigeria up to the Organization of Islamic Countries, and Nigeria is not an Islamic country. So that already tells the world that Nigeria is an Islamic country. And then they are now using Nigerian money, which is the Niger Delta money, to support Islamic causes and to prop up fundamentalist governments like the Taliban. So that is another step
you
in that
see,
direction. So
so
we get to the point then that they'll change the name of the country to the Islamic Republic of
you
Nigeria.
see, man, this is why brother was going to Saudi Arabia every time. Now I know what he was doing there. He's going
Yeah,
there.
he's going there to take instructions, and he has an inferiority complex towards the Arabs.
This is a lesson. Nigeria shouldn't elect a president. It's a lesson in Nigeria. We shouldn't elect the next president. Shouldn't be elected who's capable, who's who's a ethnic bigot. We shouldn't need that in Nigeria no more. But it's showing he is. We should need a guy. We should need a president who's fair, who's not ethnic. He doesn't care about ethnic. He goes all one and be fair. You can't just keep going to the side way, but and people are suffering. I'm happy some of the know people are speaking out about Buhari because they realize you shouldn't be doing that.
Oh, all right. So let me take you then to the zoning formula. It looks as though they're at least within the PDP. What we're hearing is they're zoning the presidency to the southwest and the vice presidency to the northeast. So how would you respond to that, Charlie boy?
If PDP doesn't start, then APC must probably
No, the
zone to.
APC is the ones zoning to the So they're zoning the presidency to Yoruba land and to the vice presidency to the core north.
How about PDP?
They don't have their formula yet. They've not come out to speak yet.
Yeah, but you see, APC formula is kind of bad. If you don't put someone, actually you zone southwest, but you zone the vice president to the northeast and north. See, that's not gonna work. That's not gonna work because if you this what they should have done is zone the Yoruba to the southwest and get Eastern as a vice president. That would be fair, in my opinion. It wasn't cause a lot of trouble for the future of Nigeria. I think that's because I think that's one that they did. I think should have done is for APC they should have zone president to the west and vice president to the east. That would be fair, in my opinion. Do you think so, woman?
So they should do what? Sorry, repeat what you just said.
They should zone the president to the west and give the easterners a vice president.
No, then that would be a south-south ticket now. That would be two southerners, and we've never had that before. I don't recall.
Yeah, but I'm saying for Nigeria to not get in crisis, that's only way. There's only hope.
To have a Yoruba president and an Igbo vice president.
Yes.
All right. Well, that's nothing is impossible, but that's certainly improbable. So thank you, Charlie boy. Let me go on from you, Charles, to Tony. So Charles, mute yourself. Tony, are you there?
Yes, sir. I'm there, sir.
All right, brilliant. So Tony, then to that space that Charles just left, we're hearing soundings now that the committees are coming in and the zoning formula already are being fleshed out. APC zones presidency to the southwest, which is Yoruba land, and vice presidency to the northeast, which is the core north. So how would you respond to that, Tony?
Yes, as usual, that as long as they are talking about zoning the presidency or whatever to this part of the country or the other part of the country, so it all, just means zero. So I'm against the system, and then we need to recalibrate and then see what we can, how we can move forward. So that is already a failure signal that because when the country is talking about zoning presidency to this or that or whatever, I mean, then that is the end of the show. That means there's no way forward for us, no way out.
Oh, all right, thank you. And to the Buhari IGP Usman Baba under fire for new hijab dress and $1 million donation to Afghanistan. So the Inspector General of Police from Borno State, he has now instituted policy to allow female officers to wear the hijab as part of their police uniform. So this very quickly you start seeing it because they want to do that, and the entirety of the police in the north, the female ones, will be hijab wearing. And if you're not a hijab wearer, then you can't even police in those states. This is what we will see very quickly, because we saw when they opened up that Hishba space for them to have it as a satellite religious space, and that suddenly became the mainstay of those core northern states. So hijab now introduced into the Nigerian police force, even though the constitution says it's a secular state. So that and the person introducing it, a core Islamic person. So an obvious prejudice right there that just plays out. And the presidency also a religious fundamentalist. He is giving $1 million to the Talibans, a fundamentalist government that took power by force. So, what are you then making of this radicalization of the Nigerian space and the thrusting of Nigeria towards one single religion? Tony?
Yeah, it just reminds me of this song, "Suicide, Suicide," because that is suicidal. That is somebody that's going to, protect, the citizen, and him or herself have to be wearing some kind of masquerade dress. That I mean, it's just so crazy. Just so crazy. It's also linked up again to this earlier one that like talking about where the president is going to come from. I mean, the country is already finished because it's too crazy. How can somebody the main purpose of a police force is to provide security for the citizen and then him or herself. But right now, you are just I mean, it's kind of it's just outrageous. I don't know what to say. It's just too crazy. And then people, this this these members of the government uh, are members of the Al Qaeda and all this kind of stuff. These are the things that Unadi Kanu was always preaching about. Most of these things that these people they are coming bit by bit. They have got this master plan or Marshall Plan according to rational medicine, the Marshall Plan. So they are, I mean, they are just, and the country is not being run by debate. So these people are just, just with, I mean, no obstruction, just no resistance. It's just so terrible, sir. So we don't have any other option than for the Southerners to be working together as one. Because not to do one, not to Biafra. Let us come together as brothers and sisters, and then see how we can be able to rescue ourselves. Because the system in the Nigeria right now is like a slave versus masters, slave masters relationship. It's not because the country is not being run by debate. Okay, I want to build a road to Niger, so that that one will also enable those people to come and invade us. I mean, something like that, and then nobody's talking, and then they have these stooges from our place who are helping them to carry it out, like the Murik now, whatever, who is even or the government is even using the Satanas to be announcing all this kind of I mean, one man, the thing don't tire me. See.
All right. And finally, to this space, we were treated worse than Nigerians at the border. Indians fleeing Ukraine cry out. So Nigeria now and Nigerians being the lowest denominator, and anybody then that feels that they are treated worse than Nigerians, essentially talking about a subhuman treatment. So what are you then making of this language from Asia by the Indians?
Yes, I'm not surprised because some Indians are darker than us. You know that, already. Some Indians are darker than us. Like all the Sri Lanka, all those kind of people, they are dark. So the darker you are, then you are vulnerable. You know what I'm saying? Because even here, the same thing is happening here. So they don't regard the black Indians as real human beings. Even back in the days in Nigeria too, the white Indians don't even regard their fellow Indians as human beings. So they are called, they are called untouchable. The untouchable people. You already know that also. You know that even that's why Mandela was also included them in the fight for against apartheid. You see the Indian fighting for some Indians, because some Indians are white, then most of them are black. So once you are black, you are exposed. So like in Germany right now, the Ukraine and all those neighboring countries that are fleeing, they are being prepared for. They are giving houses. They will go to the border to pick them up. Just like they did to the Arabs also. In the 2015 and 2017, they will take their planes to Turkey, to Lebanon, and start to bring all these Arab in and bring them over to Germany. You know exactly what I'm talking about. So, but when the Somalia problem was on, they said that, oh, these people, they are cannibals. They captured about 18 soldiers from the United Nations peacekeepers, and then so they say, okay, we have to. These people are not. See, they are uncivilized people. They are barbaric. So let us go back to our countries. So once you are black, you are nothing. And then the earlier we accept that, the better for us, so that we can be able to look for the way forward. Because there's no way out. We have been talking about this issue every day, me and you. People don't want to to get it. So black man is the last because no black country is good. So the people, the citizens, whether you're from Jamaica or whatever, you'll be regarded as just nothing. So that's it, sir. So I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised.
But
All right.
Tony, woman, just one question.
Yeah,
But Tony, don't you think they treat us in reflection to the way our government deals with issues?
Yes, that's what we're talking about because there's no black government. Forget about all the talk about Ghana, about this, about that. Black people, we were not programmed to to be civilized. Because can you just imagine all the resources in Africa, and then even Congo is enough to provide good life for everybody in the whole world, not just black race. But you see, we cannot just our capacity, capability or whatever you may call it, it's not programmed to do so. But people like us now, you see that most of the time, one man is always telling me, "Oh, please take it easy," because the black man doesn't, it's too terrible. So our race is the last of all races. There's no chance. There's no chance until people like me and people like Nnamdi Kanu, people like Buhari, men, strong men like Mayegun. I mean, we start to talk through to power, then we can see the need to change, to make that change. Black people, we are not programmed. Whether we get we're professors in mathematics or whatever, there's no way we can move forward because we don't always, we don't always like to tell the truth because we don't want to offend anybody. The white people, they kill themselves. The Arab also is set himself on fire. Just for the Arab Spring to take off. I mean, one man have already made mention of that the other time. Black people doesn't want to, black people want to go to heaven, but they don't want to die because there's no love. We have no love. So me, if I fight and die, so that the next black people can live a good life, that kind of thing is not in our agenda. You know what I'm saying? So that's it.
I kind of understand, but I do also believe that we are the reflections of our government. And I've traveled in so many places and I've seen Nigerians, the way they behave. It's totally absurd. We are loud, we are everything, but at least we should also carry ourselves the way we should human beings carry themselves. And certain problems, I've tried to help so many Nigerians, at least in Europe, trying to educate them that they should go to school, or what do you call it in German? Ausbildung. They should do, they should do such things. But
whether you do the whether you do the Ausbildung or nothing, a black man is a black man, a black woman is a black woman. The white people, they did not or does not recognize you as a human being. So whether you do that training, let us tell you are talking about this education program in Germany. If once you are entering any white country, let me not just be say Germany right now. They don't regard you as a human being. Like now, that my job is it takes me to some private homes now because ever since the advent of the corona crisis, so I have to reduce the number of my staff. So which means I have to go for customer service by myself, which is also good because if I make any move, maybe if I can get you 100 euro or 120 euro, it's okay. Maybe for 1 hour. Eh? So when I go to the private homes for service, the children. So when I get it, they welcome me. Hello, how are they? So that the technical is there and whatever. Then once I get into the apartment, and then I'm going towards the washing machine. I'm headed. Then the children they will come and be say hello, and then they'll be asking me where do you come from. Then I will say that I'm from Africa. They'll say, oh, hunger. They are hungry because in Germany here, they teach, and most European countries they teach the children that Africa is the last of the lowest. That they are hungry, they are sick people, they are corrupt, and then the children. So you see that one. You see, just imagine how how we feel sometimes, and then sometimes they will say, okay, they want to offer me coffee, then there will be no appetite for such a coffee. It's very bad.
No, but Tony, this is media. This is protecting your own space. what do Nigerian kids or Nigerian media talk about Europe or America or the Western world? They just show the finer places, and they don't even show. Like I've been in the Ostblock, that's how it's called in Germany, the Eastern Bloc. These people are poor.
The
I've been
Eastern
to
Bloc.
Romania. I've been to Romania, Hungary. These people are Nigerians are better than these people. To be sincere with you people. But it's just about projection, the way you carry yourself, and not just blame. I know there is racism and all those things, but don't just blame it on other people. Try to do your best and then work on something, and not just say,
My brother, you missed the point. You missed the point. That was where I started from earlier on. That when your home is not okay, wherever you go to, it's going to be the reflection of that. Because in Nigeria and Congo, let me say Congo, you see, United Nations will say that they want to come and help you. They're not helping you. They're going to dig all the whole stuff away. So last 1.5 year, 1 year ago or so, so there was an accident involving a United Nations truck with a private vehicle. So this truck from assaulted United Nations truck. Do you know that what they found inside? You see diamonds, gold, and everything in that something. So the country, our black people have been programmed. So because people like Awolowo is no longer there, so we don't know how to move forward. Because I don't know.
Tony, sorry, but I cease to disagree. That means if your father is dead or your mother is dead or your parents are dead, you cease to exist. You must fight. That's the nature.
No, you cannot fight because there's power that be the vested interest
Tony,
that were against Awolowo's agenda.
I refuse to accept. Sorry that I'm cutting in, but I refuse to accept that your destiny is on the hands of a person that is dead. Yes, they might stop you from certain things, but they cannot withhold your destiny, because if you stand down and say, yeah, because my people are dead,
it's the language of surrender, isn't it, that we're hearing from this guy? If you have surrendered, I don't know if you have surrendered, then own that space, but don't reflect it as the total black story. That is your story. If you have been beaten down by the system, because people do get beaten down by the system, but don't then try and permeate that through as a mentality. There's some truth to what you're saying, but your landing point is fundamentally flawed. Yes, we are disadvantaged globally for reasons of our narratives. The narrative that they paint of the black person is that of that Ethiopian child, that Kwashoko kid with the belly protruding and flies surrounding him, ill-fed, unable to sustain, and with corruption permeating all the way through. The African space is exploited. The Chinese are there exploiting it now. The United Nations, as you said, they go in there under the guise of peacekeeping, but for reasons of exploitation. Every organization is geared to protect Western interests. So we know all of these things. So to fight our way through that is our course of action. But if you are saying you are surrendered, that by virtue of your race, you are sub to another person, then they've captured you. Fela Kuti said it. He said colonial mentality. He said they have released you, but you have not released yourself. So we have to release ourselves from this sort of mindset that Tony sadly have, but it's not unique to Tony. It's that sub place. When you go into a workplace and you allow yourself to be treated as black, and then that self-perpetuates. But if you challenge it, we not lose. If you get the sack, you get the sack. If you get the victory, you get the victory. But you challenge it. So that makes it that much more difficult for it to continue. But if you surrender to it in the language that Tony is presenting, then it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. So that is your narrative, Tony. But that is not my narrative. And from what I'm hearing from Mangui, that is not his narrative too.
Definitely.
But woman, you know that I'm a fighter now. So
you don't sound like one. You sound like you are a surrenderist. You sound like you are waving the white flag.
No, I always say, tell the kids, start educating that that their government is responsible for what is happening in Africa, that we are the richest continent. But one thing is this: why can't we support?
There's a Ghanaian, a short little guy. I don't even like him, but I cannot disagree with what he's doing. He calls himself
Wodemaya.
He's going around Africa presenting stories, and then he's doing all these developmental things and the natural landscape and the human enhancement of that landscape. And he's presenting it to the global community, and he's saying, look at this space. Where do you think this is? And they will say, oh, that looks like somewhere in Europe, etc. That looks like some tropical place. And they will tell them that this is Africa, and they will say, oh, how is that possible? Why are they not starving children? So it is you that will tell your story, because they've already told your story to disadvantage you and to advantage them. And if you pipe yourself into their narrative, then you are already captured. That's just it.
Exactly. Tony, let me tell you a story. Just woman, just permit me. I went to Nigeria with certain of my friends, and we were there. We were just discussing everywhere. You know how Nigeria did now. So he went into Lagos. He saw Lagos. He saw the bad part. He saw the good part. I took them virtually everywhere. We came back. They researched about Nigeria, and they found out that there were a shortage of houses, especially in Lagos. My brother, these people take money. They build us for Lagos. Mansions. I'm not talking about we did criticize mansions in Lagos, trying to develop. So if they can see, this is media talk, like one man just said, they have their own narratives, how they want Africa to be pictured in the world. And if we don't start getting our own narrative out in the world, we'll keep on remaining that dark continent that we are always been named in the whole.
Another good example, Magui, is this guy. I hate him almost to the core of my being. I'm talking about Lai Mohammed, but this fight that is having with Twitter and by extension the social media space, he shut them down to say that no, you cannot come and act as you will in our country. Because these people, they bring Twitter, they bring all these things, and they lord it over you that you should be grateful that you savages even have the opportunity to partake. So they come in and they take. So he shut it down to say, no, you will conform to our own ways or you don't be here at all. So he shut it down. They wriggled and swiveled, and then they went to their Western media to start to propagandize. And CNN, all the usual suspects, they were lining up to say, look at these savages, etc. No, Lai Mohammed said, you will come and kneel down here. Eventually, they came and knelt down because these people are data led and they are money led. They saw the impact of that Nigerian space on their balance sheets. They came to conform. They told the government line, and now he's making them pay taxes. But
exactly.
a weaker person with a different mindset, the sort of mindset that Tony is narrating, he will surrender to them and say, no, we want Twitter, we want to be part of you. No. We are 200 million. That's a lot of people. We are a rich country. We're a powerful nation. You will bow, and they bow.
Exactly.
Magui, hold on.
But just one last word from you, and then I'll move on because I think there's no changing you. But
okay. One man and Magui. Did Lai Mohammed provided an alternative? Or did he work towards creating an alternative like the Russia?
So you don't get it. But
no, I get you. The black man.
You don't get it. It's not the alternative. It's the potency.
Yeah. Why don't we create?
No, forget all that. That's a different argument, isn't it?
Yes.
But one man. Yeah. Just 1 minute. He said, "Did Lai Mohammed create an alternative?" Look. If they, in certain ways they did, because they were discussing the software from India to be,
and there was even an alternative by the guy called something Buhari. That guy that has the dot. He created a social media platform that is starting to take, so there is alternatives, but not to the usage capacity of these people that have been there for decades and decades. So we can't. That language just go on.
But one man, that no matter how you try to paint our race as being equal or somehow or that we are suffering under the occupation of the Western world or whatever, but can you just imagine that we cannot just refine our product? We cannot even create, to build hospitals, even in the face of this.
What do you mean we cannot refine our products? We can refine our products, but we
But
are
why are we not
not
doing it?
refining.
Why are we not doing it?
Well, that's to
Because
do
we
with
don't want to
corruption.
do it.
That's to do with corruption, isn't it? And
Yeah,
Exactly.
and by the way, the counterweight of that is that the second or third largest refinery in the world is being built in Lagos. Eco Atlantic is one of the marvels of the world where the ocean was reclaimed and a city built on top of it. I'm not quite sure that that's been done in too many places in the world. Abuja is the first Black African purpose-built city, capital city. It is just an endorsement of capacity. So you may want to look at it from that angle, but I am looking at it from a different angle. So when you say we, say I, because you are not telling the story of all of us. You are
no, let's
telling the
talk. Let's
story
take
of
it down
yourself.
from the bottom up. One man. Let for
Yeah.
the an average man, an average child. You
Mm.
know, I mean, we're talking about schools. The conditions of our schools, the conditions of our
Yeah,
roads.
things are bad because we're a third world country. We're a relatively new country. We're just half a century. What are you? But it's a conversation that can go on forever. But
Mm.
thank you for that. I think people have enjoyed that. But let me go on to Mangui and Police opinions. So
Okay.
Mangui, to this Buhari space, Buhari, IGP Usman Baba under fire over new hijab dress $1 million donation to the Talibans. So the Islamification of Nigeria coming to a local government authority near you, Mangui.
Well, I didn't read the story because I desist from reading Nigeria story for a while so that I can maintain my sanity. Nigeria is a secular state. What is good for the goose is good for the gander. If he proposes or gives donations to those Islamic states and all those things, he should also give donation to the Christian states and also give what we tend to forget every day. Give donations to the traditional space also, going from um, the medical and the herbalist and all those things. So, in my own opinion, I think they should remind him that Nigeria is a secular state and
Okay,
well, it should be.
Mangui, you say Nigeria is a secular state, but is there not an argument to actually say that Nigeria is fundamentally, predominantly a Christian country? Because Nigeria was created by the British, all the systems and structures predicated on their form, which is a Christian way of being. So Nigeria really traditionally is a Christian country with a small infusions of Islamic ways of being to accommodate for the North. Would you buy
Well,
that?
in certain, for the first instance, yes, that Nigeria was created by the British.
Mm.
Yes. In the second instance, I don't think that weighs on the topic because if we in the constitution states that Nigeria is a secular state, that means we have no official religion. Everybody is treated equal. I believe that the Christians, the Muslims, the traditionalists should be taken into consideration when such things are given. This, in my own part, or in my view, or my perspective, is the failure that we are talking about because everybody seems to be channeled in one direction. Now us Muslim the lead, so everything is okay for us, forgetting that maybe in the future the other part will also lead and they will do the same thing. And that cascades to what we have today, as in Nigeria and the travails of Nigeria. So that's my own take on the topic.
Oh, all right, thank you, Mangui. So, still staying, well, we move from religion to politics. You may say, what's the difference? APC zones presidency to southwest, vice presidency to the northeast. So, you recall that one, they came out to say that they are zoning, they are swapping it around, so the administrations go to the south and to the north, and governance goes to the south. So, they're now breaking it down into the six geopolitical zones, and now they are sub-zoning within the south, the presidency to the southwest and the vice presidency to the northeast. So essentially now they are narrowing it down to the Yoruba space. So what are you then making of this information emerging from the APC, Mangui?
Well, it's a good news that they are getting their acts together. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that I heard something of this zoning formula, which was concocted by our generals back then, that it brings national cohesion. Zoning to the southwest, well, I haven't read the news, but if it is what the APC have done, fine and good. Might be a little bit of a problem, because it's not all about west, southwest, it's about the south, according to the zoning formula that I think they have. But nonetheless, it creates a big chance for Tinubu to march on. And for the eastern part, they must play their role as to get Nigeria on their feet once again. That's my take. I believe it's a good. If it is what I think, then Tinubu is almost a half inch into the Asorok.
Yes, but I still feel that come what may, they don't want to give it to him, and I still feel that they will still subvert him. It may go to the southwest, but somebody more pliable, more malleable. So they probably want to give it to Oshibando, who is just a meek little. He will just be like a good luck Jonathan type of person who speaks a lot of grammar but doesn't have the backbone.
No, I don't think so, man. All those meek people, very dangerous. They woman, let's just see it like this. Most of the major people in APC and candidates that we might speak about, these are Tinubu candidates. Either ways you have it, Tinubu is there. He's also, honestly speaking, I didn't support it when Tinubu said he wanted to be the president of Nigeria. I believe he's a kingmaker and he should be one. I've already said it here. Tinubu needs a Tinubu to become the president of Nigeria. And when he doesn't have that Tinubu to become the president of Nigeria, he will fail. So for me, Tinubu is somebody that should be on the background, working things out and making sure that everything works according to plan. Oshibanja is still Tinubu's man, any day, anytime. At least he worked for Tinubu and all the rest. So, and Fashola, all of them, most of them, Tinubu has his finger in almost every politician in the Southwest. So no matter who they pick, except maybe Saraki.
That came across the wrong way, What do you mean that Tinubu has his finger? Do you want to rephrase that? Look at this guy. It's not that kind of show. Eh?
I'm sorry for that kind of.
You are a suspect, But
sorry for that language.
No, it's my own mind. You know me. I'm a weird man, but I carry on.
I had to insert that thing in there. So
yeah, carry on. Yeah.
Well, one thing we cannot take about Tinubu, even though I don't personally, or not just his aggrandizement, like the way he does things, but one thing we cannot take from him is a tactician, he's a strategian, and this is good. If he was in his younger age, I will definitely say, okay, he chooses the right people to do the job for him. But right now, I think Nigeria needs somebody in his between 45 and 65, thereabout. to lead Nigeria. So to whom they zone it to is none of my business. I just want Nigeria to be better. Man.
Yes, I think we're all fed up with the way things are, because that country is an easy fix. There's nothing that is holding that country down that is not easily fixed. That is the problem. Everything, because all of the solutions are already in the discussion space. But the political will to take on the solutions is not there for reasons of people that are traditionally hold on to power. They feel that if that country, because they can only hold on to power with Nigeria being in the state that it is. Imagine if Nigeria is what it should be. Somebody like Buhari would never, ever, ever, ever in life smell something like Castle Rock. He will never now, because what will he be going? If Nigeria was elegant, forward moving, if you have been following through how we were coming under the Saudana Azikiwe Awolowo ticket, if we had followed that all the way through that progression, when Nigeria was donating aid around the world, we were propelling, we were building. If we had followed through, how would we even have a president like Buhari? Buhari is worse than all of those histories going back. It's been progressively worse. We went from that high class sort of governance of Zekawo and Ahmedu Bello, and then we started to just fall rapidly. Then we had Gowon, all this kind of people, Babangida, Buhari, Abacha, and then it got worse and worse and worse to now land on this one, and that is just the total worst of anything.
Wait. To be straightforward with Buhari, I don't like the way he does things, I must say. But if someone has been under leadership, I think they view something differently in the way things are done and these perspectives of how things are done. Buhari had it bad. I will not, let's say the truth and how it should. Okay, let me say my own truth. When he came in, the oil is falling. When he came in, things were not all that good. And according to what they said, the national treasure was looted. Right, left, and center. So there was nothing there in the coffers of Nigeria, according to Buhari. But that not mistaken. Throughout his second period and all those things, Nigeria no get money. Let's tell ourselves the truth. The oil started just rising. Was it this year? The whole economy was bastardized, and our CBN governor, his method of economical forwardness was not the best. So, and we must also say this is their first time of testing power in that capacity, and they had high hopes, but it didn't fall through the way they wanted it to. They made a lot of mistakes, I must say. But
they made too many mistakes, and the mistakes were self-inflicted. He chose loyalism over patriotism, and he chose tribe and religion over country, and that was the Achilles heel. That was the failing. And those two fundamentals. That is what destroyed his administration.
yes,
So
woman.
when take all the police chiefs that is chosen, he chose the first guy who helped him rig him in Kano. That one was completely useless. That one, the transmission, that one, so completely useless. And then the one that came in the middle, he was relatively okay, but he was too old for the post. So this new one now, he did not even, because these are Kalibaba. He's 2-3 years from retirement, and the police rule book says that you have to have a minimum of 3 to 4 years from retirement for you to have that post, so that you can be of purpose. So they bent the rule to slot this guy in, and he's playing some ethnic religious narrative with the security of state operatives, and then he chooses a fundamentalist, as the communications guy in Pantami, who openly and publicly is a Al Qaeda sympathizer. Then you have the Minister of Justice, who doesn't have any concept of the law. He has no knowledge and is barely able to articulate even in a language that we cannot understand. Give him press conferences in Hausa, and that is that. And then this Zainab Ahmed, she's not fit for purpose. It's just
Woman, you can.
yeah,
Sorry,
so
but you can.
those are the fun. It got the fundamentals wrong for reasons of parochialism, tribe, and religion,
Woman,
and he has an inferiority complex towards intellects and educated people, and an inferiority complex towards southerners. This is really the killing of Buhari.
yes,
Not
but
not physical, but
everything,
metaphorical. Yeah.
Very
everything
good
you
analysis.
said,
Very good analysis from one man. Thank
Tony,
you, sir.
please
no,
now.
woman,
Mangui has the floor now. Yeah. Mm.
everything you said is to a certain point and certain perspectives right. But there is a dimension that people don't actually view. I will paraphrase or quote our former president, Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, who said, when was asked a question, he said that the governors run Nigeria, not the federal government. And that is a problem that we are having. I had a discussion with my brother the other day, and I was telling him, look, our local government chairman is doing nothing. The guy is, sorry to use this word, he's not the brightest of person. I've written to this person, confront him. I've tried reaching him. He avoids my call anyway. So, but the problem is our governor. These people collect emoluments, all the security votes and all this, but we see nothing on ground. Look, in fact, woman, make I just talk to you. See Lagos, I'm disappointed in Lagos. In fact, anytime I come to Lagos, I weep because that's a mega city you are looking at, but nothing is happening. Except if you move on to island, you go see small things really happening. Go to mainland, nothing is happening. Like, in fact, I don't stay more than 2 days in Lagos because the air, the pollution is too much. So Buhari might have done so many things wrong and all those things, but the state government is doing virtually nothing to appease the people. So we might blame that high man the way we want to blame him and all those things. Look at their conversation. When the governor said it is coming to the south, what are we having now? The presidency is coming to the south. So they run this government. Why are we trying to blame Buhari all the time? Yes, he is there. The ball stops at his court and all those things. We go speak English, Thai. But the governors, the commissioners, all these are the people that we can catch red-handed that are near us. I think Soli or DOG was speaking such things yesterday. These are the people that we should attack, not federal government who will allow you come as a rock. So that's my take, man. I don't know.
All right. It's a complex situation. So thank you, Mangui. So finally, briefly on this place, we're treated worse than Nigerians. This is the outcry of the Indians fleeing Ukraine. So what are you making of that statement? Just of this, just it as a standalone statement. How would you respond to that Indian comment?
On a lighter note, woman, at least we better pass them. If they are treated worse than us, we are better than them. Not a good example to use us as an example to treat other people, but at least we pass at all.
Where do you think Nigerians fit in the hierarchy of things, just from the global perspective? Where do you think our slot is?
On the honest level, man, I think we are superhumans, as you said it. Honestly speaking,
do you think they see, because what I've noticed is that when they find out that you're African, that's one thing, but then when they find out that you're Nigerian, that is a different thing. And
Exactly.
they are able to separate the Nigerian and then from Africans. So the Africans, they sweep them all under that African umbrella. But the Nigerian, they stand him alone as a Nigerian. So what do you think that means?
They, sometimes it means something special. Sometimes it means we are dangerous.
Is what it is. Yes, it's both, isn't it? Really? Yes.
It's this yin yang stuff. You have the good and the bad and all those
Mm,
things. But one thing I've understood, at least through my travels and all those things, that Nigerians stand out, and they are like just what is explained. They are taken out of the queue. They stand alone as as their own pillar. And for the people listening, I've forgotten the scientist or something like that. There was a test done about, I don't believe so much in IQs and all this, but there was a test done regarding IQ. And they found out that some of the people that have the highest IQs in the world are situated in Nigeria. I've forgotten the test. I came out and it came in and went out again of my head.
You know that comes as no surprise to me because I fear the Nigerian for reasons of his brain. I'm always on guard. Well, I'm always on high alert when I'm amongst Nigerians for reasons of their brain. They are too sharp. That's the thing. Even
Yeah,
I am a Nigerian too, I know your man, but I know that I have to stand steady with these people though, because they are thinking fast and they're thinking hard. So I have to make sure that I'm in the loop.
yes. So for me, I believe that Nigerians are great. Nigerians are, and for people talking about division, look, I'm not against division and all those things, but this is the only country that we have. Let's make it better. Although the whites or the Europeans or whoever wanted it to collapse and to use it against us.
You
But
know, I was sharing a data just the other day that the countries with ethnic diversities, just the top 15, they were all African countries. So the way that continent was carved up, it was carved up not to succeed.
exactly. So we should make them succeed. Look,
Yes.
we should just think of our workplace. We that are in the diaspora, we should just think of our workplace. Who wants you to succeed as a Nigerian? If they know that they will put everything in your way to make you fail. But the most important thing is that we have that's the one thing Nigerians forget. They are in the diasporans. Nigeria gave them that wherewithal to succeed in the diaspora because you've done something with the Muslim, Christian, Hausa, Fulani, Ijo, and all these things. So when you see Nigerians rapport, it's a different space when you see other Africans rapport because we have that innate in us.
The other thing I've noticed as well, when Nigerians, when they marry outside of the culture, outside of the culture, that whoever they are marrying, they come into the Nigerian culture. You don't go like for instance, if a Nigerian girl is marrying some Oyinbo guy, you better be sure that Oyinbo guy, he'll be wearing buba and shokoto on that wedding day. Yeah, that's what
Exactly.
he's going to be wearing. And if a Nigerian guy is marrying the Oyinbo girl, be sure that she will be wearing Iro and buba on that wedding day. And after that wedding, she will be going to know how to cook egusi. She'll be going to her in-laws to learn egusi and how to make eba. So he's not going to be
Exactly.
coming to eat some funny food. You will learn how to eat proper food and you will learn proper way. So you come into our culture. We don't necessarily go into your culture.
Exactly.
This is why a lot of people want us to get that country right because we have something there that if we get it right, it will be the marvel of the world. It will be the marvel of the world.
Yes, because people don't get it. Look, Ghana is good though, Cote d'Ivoire and all those
Yeah,
things.
yeah,
They are
no,
not
yeah.
growing. They
No,
are not
no.
growing because I watched something. I was reading a review. If Nigeria grows in economy, the whole of West Africa grows in economy. If Nigeria, Ghana is not exceeding their this thing and all the West Africa
Ghana has
because
plateaued
Nigeria
now.
is
That
not growing.
they have already reached where they're going to reach. I don't see Ghana doing anything more than
No, yeah,
yeah.
but what I
Yeah.
mean is that
What
if
goes?
Nigeria is good, it is good
Mm.
for West Africa complete,
Yes, yes.
and in certain extent to the whole Africans. Was it Lumumba was or something like that was criticizing the Nigerian space and telling them to get their acts right because the whole Africans are looking up to them. And that is what our leaders fail to realize. But I pray that we get it right someday.
Mm. Oh, all right. Thank you, Mangui. So you must join us more often, Mangui, if we are so eloquent and so engaging to talk with, to speak with. So thank you, Mangui. Let's go on finally to Izon, who traditionally, because if there's ever a typical African, it is this guy, always turns up late and then he wants to try to dominate the thing with big grammar. So get your dictionaries out as we go on to Ahizon. So Ahizon, to you,
One man,
yeah,
one man,
yeah, you know you now. You don't speak in the language that we understand. So let
one
me just
man.
hold on. Let me type this thing first. Dictionary.com. All right. So it's on to you.
One
APC
man.
zones. Yeah.
Be like say na pidgin you go make me speak today. Now
No,
what for
no,
you?
you handle pigeon even, but to this space, APC zones presidency to the southwest, vice
Mm,
presidency to the northeast. So it looks as though
yeah.
they are narrowing it down now, and there is really no surprises to see that they have done that because the whole of that narrative was essentially Yoruba led, right
Mm-hmm.
from using Buhari to force Goodluck Jonathan out, and then using the culture and the ethnicity to hold him in position because if the Yorubas had turned against him, he would have fallen. But they propped him up, and then the narrative to have the presidency transit to the south was essentially forced by the Yoruba, led by Akeredolu. So really, it couldn't have gone to any other place but to the southwest. So the Yorubas get the presidency and the northeast the vice. This is the sounding that we're hearing. What is your response to that, Ahizan?
Well, I think it was some gamesmanship by Akeredolu. Um, Kudos to him and his ilk because they played the South, in my opinion, from my observation. They made the declaration the presidency will come to the South, knowing very well as APC chieftains that the plan was already in place to push Asiwaju to the fore, knowing that all the strongest candidates in APC were from the Southwest. They knew that when they made the declaration and they made the push. And in all fairness, they knew at the end of the day, Asiwaju was instrumental in placing Buhari at the executive office. So now, the way the ball has bounced is to the southwest. So now we also know that all the other clowns, such as the Rochas and all these other people that came up, that was all just distractions, probably people just trying to leverage for some sort of position in the event that the Tinubu became president. They didn't really, have any plans to be serious candidates, as you can see, or the Uzodimas and all these guys from the southeast that were claiming they were going to compete for the position. So now we know it's going there. The question now becomes, is it going to be Asiwaju? And most people might think it is, but the problem is, Buhari is, if there's one thing that you can count on him to be, is unpredictable. He's highly unpredictable. You have no idea which direction he's going to go in. Is he going to pick Asiwaju? We don't know. Is he going to pick someone else? We have no idea. So this is the thing. And, if he is going to champion Asiwaju, why is he dragging his feet on it? Why is he taking his time? So the unpredictability of Buhari creates a conundrum. It's a dilemma now that we have to face because we don't understand how this is going to play out. And that is where we have to watch.
Yes, I somewhat, in fact, somewhat, I wholly, if not solely, agree with your analysis. I'm not quite sure. I think Buhari might be conflated on Tinubu because he instinctually recoils from somebody like Tinubu, but by virtue of our obligation, he knows that he's obliged to him. He knows that he would not be president if not for Tinubu. He knows
Correct.
that he would have struggled with his tenors if not for Tinubu. In 2019, he say, okay, I'm going to hand it to Tinubu again, no, because it is down to you again, no. So re-sing that song. And Tinubu re-sang that song. So a lot of it, remember in 2014 when we were seeing Tinubu and Buhari in London in long coats, having meetings all over the place. So all of that, but instinctually he recoils from people like Tinubu. He finds them somewhat smelly, to corrupt, to messy, you know. So I think it's still conflated on that space and it's not tilted yet. But Tinubu is moving very hard and is moving very fast and trying very hard, to
Yeah,
foster space without being too aggressive. So it's
yeah,
still like on the balance, but it doesn't look because it looks as though the cabals and the power strokes in the north, they are not essentially for Tinubu for reasons of him. Like you said, Buhari unpredictable, Tinubu also unpredictable, Buhari a man of his own, Tinubu also a man of his own. So they are used to just strolling into the central bank with a bag and filling it with dollars and walking away. So their way of life will change. They know on that Tinubu, but would
yeah,
they? So it's still very
yeah.
much
And
on the
one man, the
balance.
thing
Yeah.
is this, right? I personally, I personally, I'm not a Tinubu fan. However,
Mm,
I will pick Tinubu over anyone north of Lokoja,
mm.
um, because even though I'm not a fan of his, I do understand that he tries to be progressive, having spent time in the States and working for some Fortune 500 companies and trying to place highly educated and driven men like, Osibanjo and, Fashola in positions of power.
Even
You know,
Ambode, Ambode is a real champion in Gigi. He's
yeah,
strong.
yeah.
Yeah.
So Tinubu has that it thing where
Mm,
he can even if he's an older guy, he can try to look into the 21st century, but I still shudder at the
mm.
prospect of him becoming the executive of the country because
Yeah,
of how
this is
he,
this is what we've been saying. That it's just that you have to hold your nose and just
yeah,
pick one,
yeah,
because they're all
yeah.
smelling people, but
And then
I,
for
I,
the
I, yeah, go on.
VP,
Yeah.
if APC was smart, since it's going to the northeast, I would suggest they select Zulum. If they
Mm.
were smart, they should select Zulum
But
because the
what about
man,
the religion, though? What about the religion?
yeah, I mean, is Tinubu really a Muslim from
Not
that
really.
perspective?
No,
Yeah,
nobody.
the people
Yes,
that
it's
would,
not.
yeah, the
It's
people
an
that would
amubo now.
complain, yeah, the people that would complain are our evangelists and
Yes.
those people that are pro-Christian who say, ah, no, 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 we can't have Muslim, we can't have Muslim. But in all honesty, I mean, if you really want to, you don't see Tinubu carrying Islam on his head around the whole place. That's not his style. But
Mm.
I mean, if you were to ask me strictly from a governance perspective, a VP that has shown his mettle, has shown that he has delivered, works in one of the most difficult states in Nigeria, had an attempt on his life, was able to go out to the forefront and challenge the security forces, trying to bring his state back from the brink. The most difficult gubernatorial job in Nigeria
Mm.
falls with Zulum.
And I think Zulum is ready to unleash on those Boko Harams if they give him
Oh
the
yeah,
free
oh
hands
yeah,
to do it. But
oh
I
yeah,
think they are hemming him somewhat because the Buhari administration is somewhat sympathetic to that line of thought. But I
yeah.
think Zulum is ready to just finish them off if he gets the tools.
100%. And one man, the thing is this: Buhari at this point with this Southwest declaration has to be very careful because if he drops the ball and does not honor his obligation to Asiwaju, what will happen is that he will destroy that party. You will see a revolt from the Southwest that you've never seen
Yes.
before. The likes of Akere Dolu and all those guys, they will revolt because just from an honorable standpoint, they all understand.
He's under pressure too. If he doesn't
Yes,
realize
yes,
he's under pressure too, if he wants to show that arrogance to the end, it will be his undoing. you are right in what you're saying. Ovie was here the other day, say, where are the list of Yoruba names? And I was trying to explain to him that they don't have to have a list. They have converged under
They're
this
united.
person to say, this
Yeah,
is what we are presenting, and we want the presidential slot because we
yeah,
created it. We created this whole paradigm, and
yeah,
now this is what we want for ourselves.
yeah.
So
And
he was
Ovie,
saying that
Ovie, if
they
you're
are looking.
listening,
Ovie doesn't understand a lot of
Ovie, if
but
you're
he's not
listening,
here. But
that makes them more dangerous.
yes,
It makes them more
yeah,
dangerous. You don't need a slither of clowns posing to be president. If they all unite behind one person, then they are a united force, and they, in
yes,
effect, control APC. Make no mistake about it. If they don't get this, APC is done. You might as
yeah.
well just say goodbye to
So
them.
they are saying we want it to come to Yoruba land, and this is the person that we want it to come to. So if you want to move it to somewhere else, that is down to you. You can do that, but we have taken a stance, and but we're saying we. I'm not really essentially including myself in that, but I, of course, with the usual ethnic innate core ethnic thing that we have
One
within
man,
us as
one man, one
Nigeria.
man. We
Okay.
know, we
Well,
know, we
eh?
know we
Well,
know you're a supremacist. Let's not
no,
even.
what do you mean?
Let's just
Only your
Omo
shadows, though.
Alaafin.
Only your shadows,
So
though. Who's more fundamentalist? You this the sapele water people. We know you guys, but
yes, so my
you know,
brother.
all right. But I know interesting space. That space, we'll see how
But
it
wait, but
plays
Woma,
out. But
the
Tinubu,
caveat question I want to ask you is this: don't you think with this APC declaration, well, we were under no pretension that APC was a Southeast friendly party, anyways. But with this kind of declaration and this kind of unity and this kind of backing of the Southwesterners, the Yorubas, behind Asiwaju, what does that do for the Yoruba-Igbo relationship in Nigeria?
The Yoruba-Igbo relationship has been long-standing, and the Igbo thrust towards the APC ticket was really just a shot in the dark. I don't think I don't think any serious-minded person from the southeast was ever of any thought that the ticket was going to go to the southeast. One, for reasons of the traditional just distrust that exists in the north towards that space, and two, more fundamentally and more immediately to it, the Yoruba narrative within that APC, there's a trajectory to it that leads towards that ticket. But there is no Igbo narrative within the APC. Of course, there are Igbo participation in the formation of that party, but frontally and at the very sharp edge of it, it's essentially, if you go to the south, there's more body of work of Yoruba infusion and participation in that space than there is the Igbo participation. And if you add the Nnamdi Kanu narrative to that mix, when the thrust, because essentially Nnamdi Kanu attacked this administration all the way through, and there was no real dissenting voices, senior voices from the southeast to try and recoil from that or to rein him in or anything. So the way it plays out was that essentially the Southeast was attacking this administration all the way through its tenure. And then at this 11th hour now, they want to rebrand their narrative. So it was never going to go. I don't think anybody in the East of any serious thinking would have had any real thought that it will come to them. So they will wriggle and, tango and whatever. They'll just do the who has and the brouhahas, but they will peter down and settle down and just negotiate a position. But I don't think any serious-minded Igbo person ever thought any tickets was coming to them.
Yeah, it's I think I think you make some valid points. It's I think it's a wake-up call for the Southeast and my area, the South, because we have to decide what role we want to play in Greater Nigeria. Honestly, because if you look at it, we are playing second fiddle in APC, we're playing second fiddle in PDP. In the two key parties, Southeasterners and South people are playing second or third fiddle. We're not the decision makers in these parties. We're not the shot callers in these parties. we don't have any kind of authority in the major political parties in Nigeria. So you have to ask yourself, where do we go from here? And part of the reason why that's happening, one man, is because we're so fragmented. You know, you're jumping to PDP, you're jumping to APC. If the Southeast and the South can come under one umbrella, under a party, whatever party that may be, then the dynamics, now you have a strong constituency.
Do you know what I think the first question the Southeast mainly, and really the South somewhat, this first question they have to address? The first question that they have to address is if they are in on the Nigerian project or not. I think that is really what holds them back the most, because they buy heavily into that secessionist narrative, which is unlikely to happen. I cannot say never. So then they are halfway housing between being Nigerian and being Biafran. So if they, because they have the numbers in the south even alone, and then in the southeast even alone, and then if you add the south to that, they have an overwhelming number. They have the intellect, they have the education, they have the capacity, but they are not clear on the story that they are telling. So they are half Nigerian and half Biafran, which then puts them in a halfway house. So they have to address that spot first, and then if they opt in all into Nigeria, then they throw frontally at it. And their real move towards that presidency is to realign their relationship with the North. So if they establish a trust relationship in the North, then we'll get an Igbo president easily.
Yes.
Woman,
yes, one man. Very good. Just 1 second. Very good breakdown, one man. Because when you do that unity and you fully commit to the Nigerian project, you establish yourself as a strong constituency, and then you can go as a bloc to negotiate with the Southwest, to negotiate with the North, and then you create a situation where you can then leverage your power into a position of office. But it's, I think, you know, one man who might have just solved the entire Southeast South problem in one conversation.
Yeah, but you know what the Igbotics are like now with their yellow Gary mentality. They are just so they're so visceral. Everything is just they react on impulse. That is what they are saying.
No, you have to be strategic. You have to be strategic.
They want to be alpha. They have this alpha thing. They don't know what alpha. You know, they have to understand. You see, the problem with the Igbos is that they are not Yorubas. This is the biggest problem they have. But you know, yeah. But
and when I call you a supremacist, you go say no, eh?
Woman, na Oreo na kakamfo na.
Oreo na kakamfo.
Wait, Aizo, let me ask you a question.
Yes, my brother.
I mean, we just discussed about the APC calibration and talking about the PDP calibration, how they will zone their ticket. Don't you think that when the PDP zones their ticket to the south and to the southeast, and form an alliance with the south, the middle belt, and the southeast and the northeast, that will be a provocation and a hard to get on ticket for the APC to get a presidential ambition through Nigeria. What I'm talking about is, if the PDP zones it to the southeast and they pick a candidate and get somebody from the northeast also, and circumvent the north central, don't you think that they have a chance at the presidential ticket?
Well, you're talking about the PDP, right?
Yeah, the PDP.
Yeah, look, my brother, it will come out to how they play the game at the national level when each party has selected its champion. You understand? So, assuming the PDP selects Atiku, who seems like he's the most likely candidate, right? They pick Atiku. Atiku is also a northeasterner. He comes in and he picks his running mate, who is most likely going to be either southeastern or south-south. Now, the likelihood of Atiku carrying Southeast and South-South, the likelihood is high. The likelihood of him winning Northeast also becomes very high, because Northeasterners would rather have someone as the president than someone as the VP, right? The middle belt, the middle belt becomes the tiebreaker. We know Asiwaju is going to take Northwest. He has Buhari's blessing.
Exactly.
He's going to get, what was that number of voters they gave Buhari? I think it's nonsense, but you know, including the sheep and the cows, he will get all of that. But then, but then the middle belt, my brother, the Tarabas, the Benues, the Kogis, the Kwara, even the Plateaus, the Southern Kadunas. Most of the time when these people create their strategy, they don't realize that those guys, in my opinion, those guys, they're not northern. They're not northern. When people say 19 northern states, I'm saying, I always respond, I say, that's nonsense. You don't have 19 northern states. You know, when those guys are middle belters, you know, they are the ones that break the tie. Southwest, we know they're going to go behind Tinubu. Atiku is not going to beat him in Southwest. So now you see the mathematical formula breaking out. And if they can convince those people in that region to back them, depending on who makes a better case, that person will take the presidency. Atiku has a strong chance because, you know, he's from Adamawa, and he can leverage that relationship into Plateau, which is right next to Adamawa, into Taraba, which is to be part of Adamawa and Gongola. So you can see that how that relationship will break him. So Atiku could be a real force if he can somehow convince the South and the Southeast that he should be their guy. You know, and this is why I was saying what I was saying before about the South and Southeast not speaking with one voice, because if they had, they would have pushed Atiku out and maybe put someone else from that region as the front runner. You know, the fact that Atiku is going to be the person again for PDP should be a concern to people in that region, because that means in that region we do not have anyone of strong enough credibility to control a party.
Yeah, can I come in here one more, please? Yeah. Can I come in here?
Let's hear from De Solo who joins us. Okay. So De Solo, let's hear from De Solo, gentlemen.
I think the analysis given by Izon now, I think that is where I'm tending towards. This intention, if it is already confirmed that APC is already zoning it to the Yoruba, I mean to Southwest, it was something that I was thinking and hoping that it was not going to happen. I've been hoping that maybe the Southeast and the Southwest could be able to reach an agreement, hopefully, to try and see how they can push a Southeasterner, you know, to be the flag bearer.
Look at this
guy. Hold on, please. The statement.
What have you done to be deserving of it?
I said I was hoping. I was hoping there is a strategy behind it. The reason why I said I was hoping was that if that is not the case, which is not the case now, that means if Asiwaju or somebody else from Yoruba land takes it, the last analysis given by Izon might probably be what is going to happen. Meaning,
you mean an Atiku presidency?
Yeah, that's an Atiku candidacy.
I can see that as well, actually. Yeah.
So, and if that, because that means the probability of a northerner continuing the power after Buhari is very, very high. Meaning, the way he has already analyzed is what I was also thinking too. If Atiku wins the ticket for PDP, the probability of an Igbo man being the vice president is very, very high. So, an Igbo man, a reasonable one would like, okay, I'm more closer to the power being the vice president than whatever Asiwaju will offer me.
Yes.
So there's every tendency that the Igbos might go in mass for Atiku. I don't know. We are just analyzing.
No. You're right. But to add on to that, so what we're looking at now is an Atiku and an Igbo person ticket versus Tinubu and a northeastern person ticket.
Exactly.
So Aizon said Zulum. So how much of Atiku's votes in the north would Zulum bring to the APC? And if Buhari endorses and campaigns, how much of that also cuts into Atiku? And how popular is Atiku? Do they really, because they see him as a good time guy, and they're a puritanical society. So if Tinubu, by virtue of his relationship with the North and his vice, is able to cut significantly, if even take the lead in the North and get the totality of the Southwest, and the article then gets a portion of the Southeast, because the Southeast, even with an Igbo vice, there may still be the thing that they want is. It's interesting anyway, but sorry, Diselo, carry on. Yeah.
Woman, but I think Desolo, sorry, I think the tiebreaker in the Nigerian politics, I don't understand so much, but I think the tiebreakers in the Nigerian politics is actually the middle belt and the south.
Yeah.
Oh,
Can I
just
continue from there? Can I continue from there?
One man, please.
Hold
Please, I have a very.
Hold on, Tony. Let's hear from the solo.
Hold on, please. My daughter is calling me. Hold on, please.
Okay, so Tony, go on then.
Thank you, sir. So all the whole equations is very, very wrong, because Edo State, Delta State, if not all Delta State, then Kogi, Kwara, they are going to vote for Tinubu, because blood is thicker than water. They see these people as brothers and sisters. You know what I'm saying? So Tinubu is going to get Edo State, no matter how they hate him there. Then a Delta State, then a Kogi State, and Kwara State. So let's not forget that, because blood is thicker than water, because these people are connected. Yes.
Tony, which party controls Delta State? Who is governor?
It's PDP.
No. Forget about
it. Which party?
But hold on. But you know
it matters now. It matters.
Hold on, my brother. I don't hear you. I say half, because the people in Asaba, but Wari, Urobo, all those Isha, Bini, some Ijo, some Izo, they are linked up to Kogi State, Kwara State. They're going to vote for Yoruba.
Tony. Yes. I be Delta man now. I be Delta Ijo. So what I'm saying is, by the time Ijos in Delta, they are campaigning to get the next to the governor of the state, and they are relying on Ifeanyi Okowa to give them that seat. So by the time, if Okowa signs up with Atiku, by the time Okowa says, okay, this local government, now so on I go do am, we're supporting Atiku. That's the end of it, my brother.
Yeah,
the way Delta State work is they try to get governor turn by turn. Urobos want to be deputy governor. It's all politics. It go just promise
Delta State too.
My brother. Blood is thicker than water. No matter what.
My guy, leave that blood matter.
Tony, blood they thicker than water, but money they talk.
Now money.
No, you want to tell say Shekri man or Isha man or this Bini people, then Ijo people in Bini. There's a joy in Bini. There's a joy in Ondo. Well, look, Yoruba, we are Yorubas now. So Kogi State, Igbira, all this, all this. Kwara, offer, any Yoruba man, that's what I will vote for. I know, but if
Tony, you're mistaking it. You're thinking that people will vote according to ethnicity.
No,
okay. Let me break it down to you, Tony. There's Ijo in Ondo. You're right. There's Ijo in Edo, and there's Ijo in Delta, Bayelsa, and Rivers. So in Rivers and Bayelsa, they are PDP states. So the Ijos in those states more than likely will vote for Atiku. In Delta, PDP state, Atiku. You go to Ondo, it's Akeredolu state. The two local governments in Ondo that are Ijo, where do you think they're going to vote? By the time Akeredolu promises them something, they will vote for Asiwaju. So you
don't think it's PDP. But when it comes to voting...
Thank you, Tony. Sorry, Tony. Sorry, everyone. Sorry. We've come up to the 2-hour mark, so I'll seek to round off here because I have an errand to run. But before I head off to run that errand, let me acknowledge Alexander's super chat, who was super chatting to a space that we were just a minute ago. It says, I say it always, Nigerians are one of the black race. I say it always, Nigerians are the one black race in the world, and rightly so. Intelligent, extremely educated, and sophisticated. So yes, I agree with what Alex and I saying. Just the essence of that. Nigerians are one of the they stand outside and above. He essentially saying amongst the black race for their intelligence, education, and sophistication. The Nigerian is not a black person. It's not an African. He is a Nigerian. That is what he is, and that in itself, a thing of itself, which we are giving flesh to now. We'll give more flesh to what a Nigerian is just later in the day. So thank you, gentlemen. Always interesting. This is Aizon again. They will come in later and try to make it interesting to hold me down, but you won't hold me down now.
I'll
So
do
thank
better,
you.
my brother. Thank you.
Yes. So thank you, everyone. And thank you especially the solo. We heard your voice, but not enough of it. So please come back later and let us hear more from you. So I'll leave it there. Carry conversation with you in the comment section over here. Say.
Thanks very much, too, for the opportunity. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.